the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
This is Akin, aka Jack is the Truth. I'm here at the Cheeseman Garcia with the legend Johnny Nelson. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. It was such a nice start to the year, isn't it? It was. I didn't think the show would be as turn out how it did, but there were some good fights on all night round.
It really was a mixed bag. I think the fight at the end was a bit of a disappointment, but all in all, it was a good card. What do you think of the card?
I think it was a good fight. I think Garcia was totally underestimated. I looked at his record, and he had no amateur experience at all. Turned professional, 25 fights, 25 wins at a pro. And all of a sudden you realise this guy actually was relaxed. He was a boxer. And Cheeseman tried to bulldoze his way through him. He just wasn't good enough. And the way he fought, I found frightening, because you fight like that in this game, you end up in trouble. You end up in a hospital. Cheeseman showed his toughness, but to me, I just thought that is dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Are you referring to coming forward, putting his hands down, trying to see punches, or are you just referring to the manner in which he got?
He was flipping punches at first, but then eventually he was just catching the punches and walking through them. And he looks great, but the show's over. Now, he's the one that's going to have to deal with the bumps and bruises, go to the hospital, have to check him out, make sure he's all right. You can't keep fighting like that. You can't do that.
Do you think, because I noticed in the early rounds he had his hands up and he kept on coming forward, do you think he put his hands down towards the latter rounds because he couldn't see his targets?
I think that what happened was he had his hands up trying to hoping Garcia would punch himself out, and got to about 8 or 9 rounds and he thought Garcia's not doing this, but I'm sharp enough to slip the shots. Then he realised he thought Garcia's power wasn't enough to hurt him, so the ones he didn't slip he'd catch, but he's thinking it's not going to hurt me, and that's what it was.
Moving on, a word on the light heavyweight scene in the UK. It seems to be booming right now. Craig Richard put on an absolute display. What did you think of that fight?
Wicked, punch perfect, Chris. I think Jake Paul. It looks like his punch resistance had gone, because every time he got hit, even with a simple jab, he seemed like he was in trouble, which to me I just found disturbing. But I think Craig Richards, you've got to give him credit. I think. People always think if you lose a fight, it's the end of your career. A lot of times it's the making of your career, and it looks like when he lost to Buglione, he learned from that and thought, right, this won't happen again.
Where do you rate him? Where do you think he lands in our current climate of prospects in the light heavyweight?
Domestically, well, of course you've got Buatsi, and that's something. If these two guys keep carrying on, their paths are going to cross. Eddie was probably a bit reluctant to talk that way, but the paths will cross, and it'll be inevitable. And then it'll tell us. Buatsi looks exceptional, but tonight so did Craig, and Craig looked good as well. So we're good. We're in a healthy position. Do
you think their paths will probably cross sooner than Anthony Yard?
Say it again.
Do you think their paths will probably cross sooner than Anthony Yard?
No. I think they'll take time with both these guys, but they'll build them all gradually until if there's a demand and a big demand, then they'll do it then.
I think that's the way forward. We also saw Fabio Wardley, a young heavyweight who knocked out his opponent in devastating fashion. We had Daniel Dubois in the crowd. What do you think of that performance, and what do you think about the current crop of British heavyweights that are coming up?
Heavyweights, Britain's the best place to be for boxing right now. There's so much competition, and there's no point in being the king of your division if there's no other fighters and no other dance partners, and so the heavyweight division is buzzing, and Wardley's just popped up. I thought actually Wardley was probably a big cruiserweight, walking at 16.5 stone. I thought, wow. So this guy's got a lot of growing. He's 25 years old, 6 professional fights, 6 wins. He's had 5 white collar fights, but he's been sparring with the best, and that makes it stands for a lot. It makes up for a lot. So let's see how it goes.
He's been managed by Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte today said that the Joshua fight was dead, and he's moving on to other things. What's your whole take on this whole Joshua take and potentially going to America to fight?
It's business, and you can't blame Anthony Joshua, you can't blame Dillian Whyte. If they can't come to some agreement financially where it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And it's that simple. Dillian Whyte's going to do what works for him. If he doesn't think what was offered to him is enough, then he moves on. He's saying, I don't want to do business with you. It's that simple. It's a pity because we, the British public, would love to see that, because Dillian has proved himself. He had a brilliant year last year. He's proved himself to be a world contender. He's rightfully got himself in the position. And Dillian is not one fighter that's going to sit by and wait and wait and wait. He's going to earn his dough. He's going to fight. But I think he wants to fight. And that's what I rate about Dillian. And he's turned it around for himself. He's done a great job.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn tells anyone that would like to listen that Anthony Joshua needs to build a profile in America. Do you agree with that?
Nah. I think Anthony Joshua sells Wembley Arena at 100,000 people. Deontay Wilder, world heavyweight champion. He's American. He's unbeaten. Probably gets 7,000 people. Anthony Joshua is probably more popular, if you're in, but more well known than Deontay Wilder is. But I suppose if Anthony Joshua was as popular in America as he is in the UK, he'll make billions. So that's probably what they're looking at. That's probably what they're looking down the line at.
But do you think that it's worth risking everything that he's built in the UK to fight someone like an unknown quantity like Big Baby Miller, who's a pressure come forward fighter in the US? Why not invite him over to the UK?
If you're a world champion, it means you can beat everybody and anybody, wherever. So be it in Wembley, be it in the States. If you're the best in the world, you'll prove you're the best in the world because you'll beat everybody, wherever. And so I don't think that's the issue. I think it's business. I wouldn't worry about if you box in Timbuktu or Tasmania. If you're the best, you're the best.
But do you not think that Tyson Fury suffered at the hands of judges? The world thinks that he won that fight, but because he didn't stop Deontay Wilder, the subjection of judges took it.
That's another issue, and I think with that issue there, what they do with judges, that they need to put these judges on the stand. They need to get them in front of the camera, let us see your face, see who you are, get you to explain why you scored something like that, and then that kind of corruption won't happen. It will happen again. It's happened in the past. It will happen again, and that's a different matter. It needs to get dealt with.
Well, Johnny Nelson, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, we're all good. Good show tonight. I love the show.
I appreciate your time, Johnny Nelson. Thank you for talking to the Boxing Voice.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Family, yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.